So you're going to go ahead and come and lie down on your back, and you're going to have your ball and or your block just within hand's reach. We're not going to use them quite yet. What you're going to do first is just have your feet on the ground, have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, or if that's not comfortable for some reason, any comfortable position with your hands. And then start to take really deep, full breaths. And really feel the breath, really feel your body. Now, our practices, all of our practices are all about honoring our sources, right? Coming back to that which supports us. And movement practices in particular, and in all the lineages that I've studied, in the movement practices, really what we're doing is bringing those sources back into balance. And so feel how when you are in your body and your awareness is in your body, you can feel yourself belonging to nature. This body of yours is your hookup to your sources, right? Or depending on how you look at it, this body is the source, right? And so to honor our sources today, we're going to just keep coming back to embodiment. That is the main thing. Keep coming back to the sensations inside the body. Now you're going to go ahead and lift up your hips and just take a block and place it underneath the sacrum. And for those of you who don't have a ball today, this is a place that you could return to as we start to go through this little opening sequence. You could just be here and it's pretty nice, right? Everybody else who's got a ball, you're going to go ahead and come off of the block. If you don't have the ball, you guys just stay right where you are, okay? If you have the ball now, you're going to come off of the block and you're going to take the ball and put it underneath of the back of your left side of your sacrum, the left side. Yeah. So you can feel it out for yourself where it feels best, right? But what I'm talking about, we actually worked with this last Sunday too, is right here. So the space above the tush, but below the low back. And stay here and breathe about another 30 seconds on this side. Deep, full breaths. If you're on the block, you are just now pouring your awareness into the left side of the back of your sacrum. So you're specifically breathing in that area. And again, it's this ability to pour our awareness back into the bodies that helps us reconnect to the forces and the sources of nature. Now, for those of you who have the ball, you're going to take another exhale or so out of the mouth. You're going to really really drop all the way down into the feeling. And then you'll switch sides, placing the ball underneath the right side of the sacrum, right? And with ball work, you're welcome to obviously roll around, you're also welcome to just pause when you find a spot that needs a little extra attention and just drop the weight down. If you're working with just the block, I want you to just pour awareness into the right back of your sacrum. And feel your awareness contacting the experience in that part of your body. We are reconnecting to the source by reconnecting to the body. By honoring your body, you're honoring your sources. The last couple of breaths on this side, maybe out of the mouth. Now, those of you who are on the block can continue to be on the block for this, or you could try it without. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to take the ball off the side, Go ahead and hug the left knee into your chest. And you could take a moment here where you extend the right leg and you could roll both ankles, okay? And actually, so I'll do that and just kind of like spread out through the toes and the feet. They're going to get some more attention soon. Oh, crickle and crackle on my end here. And then now take the ball, if you have it, and you're going to place the ball right next to your left hip. Can you see where I just kind of stuck it right there? And then you're going to let the left knee come out to the side. Now, if you don't have a ball, obviously this is still a stretch. You can still do this and pour your awareness down into that part of your body. Breathe really deeply. Those of you who are called to, we did this in last week's Sunday video, you can actually roll all the way over onto that side if you want, right? Or you could stay just like this. Everyone's gonna stay for another, I don't know, 5 breath cycles or so. Big, full breaths. By being here, by attending to this incredible body of yours, by moving the energy in the body, we are honoring our sources and we're allowing them to flow through us. Okay, so we're gonna do all that on the other side. So now you're just gonna extend the left leg long, pick up the right knee and hug the right knee into your chest. Spend a little time rolling the ankles or kind of flaring, flexing and pointing the toes, the feet. And then you can set this up on the other side. So you'll kind of pin the ball over onto the outer right hip, and then you'll let that right knee come out to the side. So it looks from the front like this, okay, from above, it looks kind of like this. And then maybe I've got that ball pinned there, or maybe I don't. And then maybe I actually choose to roll over onto my side and really pin the ball down that way. I find that's the deepest, most, intense version of this. So find the version that suits you and your needs in this particular moment and breathe there really deeply. Pour your awareness into the experience that you're having. About 4 more breaths. Let go of some of the gunk that's maybe been living in there on your exhales. And go ahead and put the ball off to the side. We are going to use it again a couple more times in class. Keep it nearby. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock your way all the way up to sit. Come onto your hands and your knees now. And take, let's just use this ball again right now. You're going to take the ball in front of you and you're going to roll out your hand. And we'll just do this exercise for about, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 breath cycles. And so you can put more or less weight onto the ball, obviously, by just pouring the weight forward or back into the front of your body or back toward the feet more. I want you to notice, we're going to do the same thing with the feet in a little bit, which have kind of a similar structure. I want you to notice the feelings here in the hands. Notice how they're built. And then optional, you could go down more toward the wrists if that feels like something you'd like to do. A couple more breaths here. And then I want you to just come and sit up on your shins and just shake all that out and like shake it all the way up to the shoulder. Next week, we're going to do we'll start on Tuesday, we'll be doing a lot more of the shoulders. But go ahead and shake this out. And then come to the other side. So rolling out the hands. Oh, and I meant to say, if you don't have a ball here, use one hand to massage the other. And if you're anything like me, my work becoming so much more online, I've been using my hands a lot to be typing and scrolling on my phone. So opening all this up here, maybe you're going toward the wrists, you're noticing how the hand is sort of built.
being fascinated by our own bodies, right? Being fascinated by this thing of ours that belongs to nature is a great way to pour our awareness into it, being curious. And then we'll shake out on this side. And shake it all the way out, all the way up to the shoulder. And then we're gonna come onto hands and knees and do some cats and cows. Really notice the hands here, really kind of spread them out on the ground and feel like they're open gateways to connecting to earthy energy. Begin some cats and cows. And I'm gonna invite you could do them however you like, but I'm gonna invite you to try this little variation. Tucking your toes under as you come into cow pose, lifting your chest and kind of pushing back toward your heels. Sometimes that can feel really good. And then coming forward on your out, going and flipping the tops of the feet back down to the ground, tucking your chin and really rocking the weight forward. So you could try that out, see what it feels like as you breathe in, putting more weight back toward the back body. And as you breathe out, putting more weight toward the front. Do a few more rounds. And then go ahead and come to a neutral spine here and come to sit. So actually come to sit with the legs extended, and we're gonna take half Gomukhasana. So let's take the left knee over top of the right knee. Okay, so you want those stacked ideally. And if you can't do this for any reason, that's fine. Just take any leg position. So then you're gonna take your left hand over to the side. It's the same side as my knee is bent. And then take the opposite arm here. Reaching. Couple breaths here. And then switch sides, and this side is probably gonna be a little more intense, at least in terms of how you sense it in the left hip. And just notice, right? Noticing the difference, being curious about our own source. Good, then come all the way up. Hug the left knee up into your chest and just give it a squeeze here. And then if you want to, you could even kind of cradle the shin a little bit, just so that feels good. So we're just honoring that space of the outer hip. And then switch sides. So now the right knee bends over the left knee. You can adjust your seat, obviously, so you can get nice and centered. And if you need a different leg variation, that's okay. Right hand out to the right, left arm alongside the ear. And really engage through the feet, engage through your belly. And let that right knee, the top knee, sort of drop down into the bottom knee. Notice what the sensations are on this side. And then switch sides. So different feelings here, different experience here. Be with this experience. Pour your own attention into this experience. This is called presence. And then come back up, and then we're just doing, a little something, something here with this knee and hip. So you could hug it up into your chest. See how that feels. You could kind of cradle the shin a little bit. Let the energy flow on that part of the body. Great. And then next you're actually going to come onto hands and knees and then come into a downward dog. And in downward dog, notice your connection to the ground beneath you through your hands and your feet. Big breaths. Feel your connection to the sky through the lift of the hips and through the fire in your belly. Feel how the rhythm of your breath and the feeling of the breath, the flow of the breath brings us back to our nature of water. So all of these sources that live within us are also the sources that are all around us. And as we look inward, we discover that we're made of life. And this brings us back to our original belonging. Come forward to a plank pose. And from plank pose, I want you to really notice what's supporting you here. Like, what's the source of support for this pose, right? Belly really nice and engaged. And then you might want to step the feet together for this, but then you're going to lift the left leg up. Can you imagine that leg is made of light? Breathe here so you can actually relax the face. And then find three-legged dog. So you're going to lift the left leg up and back behind you. Then I want you to take the left knee and see if you can bring it to the upper left arm. So now your shoulders have to come way forward. So we're going back to like a modified plank, but now the left knee is touching the upper left arm. So you can kind of squeeze it in toward the center, really use your core strength, and then go ahead and reach the left leg up and back again. Ooh, you're back in the three-legged dog. And then I want you to see if you can take the left knee now to the opposite arm. So come forward again, shoulders over wrists, and then take that left knee toward the right upper arm. All right, and then reach the the left leg up and back, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, round the left knee forward. So now shoulders over wrists, and can you really hug that knee up toward your chest, and then bring your upper back up toward the ceiling. And then step the left foot forward. Woo! Low lunge. Be here, ground through your feet. And then see if you can take the hands just off of the ground and just kind of hover them off of the ground. So in a little bit, we're going to do angled lunge where the arms are alongside the ears, but we're not going to do that quite yet. I want you to take your hands now towards your left shin and just bring the shin back a little bit, the top of the shin, so the knee really back, so that you can see that your knee is not directly over the ankle now. Okay, and just take it for a moment, angled lunge, arms alongside your ears. I know it's work. Inhale. And then exhale, go ahead and take the hands back down. Lift this left leg up and back now, inhale. And then open the hip and bend the knee, exhale. Just take a little stretch for yourself here. Drop the right heel toward the planet, keep pressing through your hands. Inhale, straighten the left leg and square your hips back off, and then just place the left foot back down to the ground. And maybe your toes are together here, actually. Come forward on an in-breath to plank pose. Got some upper body and some core work here for us. Pick up the right leg as if it's made of light. Feel your breath, hear your breath. And then make your way to three-legged dog. Lifting the right leg up and back, inhale. As you exhale, take the right into your upper right arm as if you're gonna kind of, just like get it right into the shoulder and then squeeze it into the center, breathe still. So you're kind of like really hugging the right knee into the right arm, and then lift that right leg up and back again. Now we'll come across the body, so as the shoulders come forward over the wrists, and the left knee comes towards the left upper arm. And then make your way back up to the three-legged dog. And then take the right knee forward now into the chest, and really kind of hug it up. See what you can do. Can you press more into the hands? Can you pull the belly back more toward the spine, Uddiyana Bandha? Then step the foot forward. Foot between the hands here, our low lunge, and we're going to turn into angled lunge, which has a couple components, right? One of them is that the hands are now off the ground, so you're going to float them up. Another is that the knee, instead of like in lunge where it's always over the ankle, it's actually backed up a little bit so that we can work our hamstrings on the right side. And then if you want, you can take a moment with the arms alongside the ears. We're going to revisit this in a couple minutes. Take a breath in. And then take the hands down. Make your way to a three-legged dog again. So the right leg comes up and back, and then this time you open the hip and bend the knee and make some space for yourself in the body. Breathing. Lifting that right leg up, and then placing the right foot down, downward dog. Make a little walk toward the front of your mat. Take your time. Once you get there, hang over your legs. And you can take a few breaths here to do what you gotta do. You can shake some stuff out, right? What we're doing is just moving energy in the body so that the sources that keep us healthy can flow. Those sources are already powerful, all right? We don't have to make up new sources. Isn't that nice? We're just getting rid of obstacles so that the ones that are already in place can flow. You're gonna round your way up to stand, and so take your time, the upper body kind of dangling, and then once you get to the top, see if you can feel yourself really, really aligned. You don't have to make a new alignment. Your alignment already is. All we have to do is kind of feel it fall into place. Feel your head sitting just right on top of the spine. Feel the heart positioned right over the hips, the knees right over the ankles. Now really feel your feet on the ground. And we're about to open up the feet, but I just want you to have some awareness of what the feet feel like right now. Pick up your toes, spread out the toes, and then place them back on the ground and notice the space in between the toes. You can see your mat or the floor or whatever. Just notice that space. Now, go ahead and take your ball, and this is the last ball work that I'm gonna instruct, but you're gonna take the ball and put it on the mat or the floor, and then you're gonna roll out your foot. So obviously we'll do one at a time, unless you've got some really amazing yoga skills and somehow you can do both, but same as the hands, and notice how similar they are to the hands really in their design in a lot of ways. And a lot of ways they're different, right? Keep pouring your awareness down into the foot, about 4 more breaths. And can you breathe as if you're breathing in and out of your feet? This is actually a very simple touchstone of mine that I go to a lot when I'm feeling anxious. I imagine I can breathe in and out of my feet, and it instantly kind of like reconnects me to the sources of groundedness. All right, switch side. Oh wait, before you switch sides, sorry, I wanted to shake out the leg like we shook out the arm. So shake out the leg all the way from the hip and feel it reverberate down through your floppy foot. And then you can switch sides and really notice, be really sweet with the way that you touch the ground down after you've been honoring that foot, and then switch sides. As if you could breathe all the way down into that foot. Apply your attention, maybe even your curiosity, to the experience happening in the foot, to its design. About 4 more breaths. Give yourself permission to just pause and let gravity and the ball do the work. And then once you feel balanced on this side, again, we'll do the shaking. So you'll stand on one leg and then you'll shake out the leg of the foot you just opened. And really kind of wiggle it out from the hip all the way down through the ankle. And now place the feet back on the ground. And rather than kind of traditional Samasthiti or Tadasana where the toes are together, let's have a little space between them. It's a little actually more of sort of some natural stance. And now, again, I want you to pick up your toes, spread them out, and then place the toes on the ground. And you might get more space in between those toes. The feet are now more supple and able to really be sources for you, for connecting down to that earth energy, for providing balance and stability and strength. Okay, so we are going to do a couple of simple sun salutations next. And so just, getting your mat cleared and ready to enter into our sun salutation practice. You bring the big toes to touch if that feels like, okay, now I'm locked into the beginning of my sun salutes, or if it feels good to keep the feet a little wide today, and that feels like bringing you more stability and connection to that earth source, you could do that instead. Bring the hands to prayer in front of the heart. And I want you to just take a moment here. Don't overthink it. Just dropping this question into the body and seeing how the body responds. What are the important sources that you would like to thank through your practice right now? How is your embodiment a connection place for these sources? How can you find your connection to these sources in your body? How can you use embodiment as a constant reminder that your sources are here, they are real, they are powerful, and that they are going to support you? On your next in-breath, go ahead and raise your arms up and look up. On your out-breath, fold forward over your legs and let the head drop at the bottom of that shape. Inhale, lengthen your spine, jump or step back. And lower down, either chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale your choice, upward dog or maybe some other variation. Downward dog as you breathe out, 5 breath cycles. Stay really present and clear for all 5 of these breath cycles. Feel your body, feel what you're made of. Feel what you're connecting to. Feel those hands and feet that we opened up. Feel how much the earth is ready to receive them and they're ready to receive the earth. Then you're going to move forward on an exhale, so prepare for that and then bend the knees and step or hop forward. Lengthen the spine as you arrive, straight legs, open heart, and then fold down into your legs. Breathing in, come all the way up, press down through your feet, engage through your core, lift up, look up. And then exhale, stand tall and clear, gaze level on the horizon. Inhale again, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Jump or step back as you breathe out. Lower down. And then find an inhale to lift up into your variation. Downward dog as you breathe out. Stay and feel your breath as you breathe in and out for 1. Breathe for 2. Breathe. 3. Breathe. 4. Breathe. Look forward, step or hop forward as you breathe out. Then use the in-breath to lengthen your spine and straighten your legs. Use the out-breath to dive down into those legs. In-breath, rise all the way up. Look up, see your thumbs. Out-breath, stand tall and clear and lower the arms. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Flowing with your breath, lengthen your spine. Keep looking forward, keep the chest open, jump or step back. After you lower down, find an in-breath to lift up. And then an out-breath to lift your hips up and back, downward dog. Feel your connection to your sources. How can you find your sources again? By pouring your awareness into your embodiment. Once you get this connection, you're always walking around embodying your source, right? You always have that connection once you get it. All it takes is a moment of returning to your body and you're back. You're back in alignment with what you care about most. Okay, you're gonna now lift up the left leg. So you're gonna take a big inhale to do that. And then exhale, left knee toward the center of your chest as you come forward. So we did that before. And then you're just gonna step the left foot down in between your hands. Now angled lunge, so push down into your feet and just lift up your hands. Remember the piece about the knee coming back in space, you can check that out, and then take the arms alongside the ears, and this time we'll try to hold this for 5 breaths. Breathing for 1. You're making a diagonal line between your fingertips and your back heel for 2. Breathe. 3. Breathe. 4. Breathe. 5. Now come all the way up to stand. Straighten that left leg. You're going to parallel your feet over to the side and interlace your fingers behind your back. Press down through your feet, lift up through your chest, kind of reach down through your arms, and then fold forward, hinging at your hips. Let your head drop, and then let your arms hang overhead. Breathe here for 1. Breathe for 2. How can you make more space in the body for those sources to flow? Breathing. 4. And 5. Come all the way back up. And keep the fingers interlaced at first, actually, but then turn to face the front of your mat again, warrior 2, with the left knee directly over the left ankle. And then let the last thing you do be to float those arms apart and up. Right in line with your shoulders, gaze over your left fingers. Breathe 1. Breathe 2. Breathe 3. 4. And 5. Reverse warrior. Flip your palms and tip back. Inhale. Then take your hands down to the ground. Make sure you're back to downward dog. You'll have lots of options for vinyasa as we move through the rest of this sequence. Find your way into downward dog and finish in exhale. On your inhale, lift the right leg up. Breathe in. On your out breath, bring the knee forward, shoulders over your wrists. Then step the right foot forward. And then press down through your feet. Really build from the foundation. Don't be in any kind of rush. Lifting up the hands, backing up the right knee, and then maybe you take those arms alongside the ears, or maybe that's too challenging today and you give yourself a break and keep the arms down. Breathe 1. Let your gaze rest in one place on the floor ahead of you. 2. Feel that diagonal line and feel yourself pressing back through the left heel. 3. 4. And 5. Come all the way up, straightening the front leg, paralleling your feet to the side. Interlace the fingers with the opposite pinky on the outside. Lift up through your chest and go ahead and hinge at the hips. Pull down in between the legs. Breathe deeply. Every time that you pour your awareness into this embodiment, you are serving your sources. You're reconnecting with them so that you can be empowered by them, healed by them, awakened by them. Then we don't have to be looking around for second-rate substitutions for the real sources of power and wisdom and health. Okay, big exhale. Come all the way up. Find that Virabhadrasana 2 facing the front of the mat again. I like to find the legs first and then let the arms float up. Beautiful. Gaze over your right fingers and let that gaze be soft and steady. 1. Breathe for 2. The heart can be open, right? When we know that we're connected to source, when we feel strong, we don't have to hide. Breathe for 4. The warrior is not afraid, right? To take up space, to be seen, to be totally present. Flip your palms. Let there be an in breath as you tip back, reverse, and then out breath as you take your hands down to the ground. Vinyasa option. Great, and then let's just do a little, love for the shoulders now here before we go into our flow again. Come forward to plank pose, and then come all the way down onto your belly. Twisted gecko. People have been really enjoying this one, so we're doing it again. Hands underneath your elbows, wide arms. So I'm facing forward, but your hands will probably be off your mat. Lift up through your chest. They'll definitely be off your mat. Lift up through your chest, and then dip your left shoulder down. Look over your right. Inhale, come back up. And then switch sides. Right shoulder dips, look over left. Inhale, come up. And go the other way. Again, lift up. And dip the right shoulder, look over the left. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, dip the left, look over the right. Inhale, coming up. Last time, dip right, look over the left. Come on back up. Take your hands narrow again so they're on the mat and just come up and back to child's pose. And our relationship to our sources, you know, we're like a child, right? It's like they're our mother and father, as it's put in so many of the healing traditions, right? That we have this cosmic mother, the divine feminine, and a cosmic father, the divine masculine. But this kind of relationship of us being small and part of something big, but that something big actually loves us and holds us. We come from it, and it will always, and we'll return to it, right? And it'll always support us. Okay, making your way into downward dog again. And then we'll play with all of this as a little flow. So find the rhythm of your breath, right? Because that's the rhythm of our flow, right? It's the rhythm of our embodiment. You might want to bring your big toes to touch. Take an exhale, and then inhale, lift the left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee and up, forward, shoulders over wrist, and then step the left foot forward. Angled lunge, take the arms alongside your ears and breathe in. Now, as you breathe out, come all the way up to stand, pivot to face the side, interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale, lift the chest, preparing for the straddle forward fold, and the exhale brings us into the straddle forward fold. With the inhale, come all the way back up. Find a warrior two position facing the front of the mat, and then finish your exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior, tip back. And here we add on extended side angle. Left forearm can come down to the thigh, right arm alongside your ear. And you could breathe here and stay just like this, getting this big stretch to the right side, keeping space on the left side, or you could choose to take some other variation that you prefer. Breathe 2. Hear your breath, feel your breath. For 3. This is full of spirals, one of the mystic shapes of life, right? Your right arm is kind of spiraling in, your chest is spiraling open. Last breath. And then take your hands down. We're going to set up Parsvottanasana. So hands frame the left foot. The back foot can step forward and a little to the right. Looks like this from the front. It's a pretty wide stance and, side to side, and short stance, front to back. Lengthen your spine and then fold over your left leg. Of course, the blocks are a nice option so that you can, I want you to find that groundedness through the feet and the hands in this pose. Feel the weight even between your feet. Feel the upper body weight just pouring down over the lower body. Breathe for 3. When we're connected to our sources and we know that that relationship is present and strong, we feel a sense of trust. And when we feel trust, we can have surrender, right? So we can relax more and stretch more and go deeper when we know that we can trust. Exhale. Make your way into downward dog. Take your time, make your transition. Find your breath, and we'll do all that on the other side. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, right knee toward the center of the chest, shoulders forward. Then step that foot down. Press down through the feet, arms up alongside your ears, angled lunge. Then as you exhale, come all the way up to stand, parallel your feet to the side, interlace fingers behind back. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold on forward. Come back up, warrior two, facing the front of the mat. Letting the arms lift. Then reverse warrior as you breathe in, flip palms and tip back. Extended side angle, right forearm to the thigh, left arm alongside the ear. And you can find whatever variation of this pose suits you in this moment. Breathing deeply wherever you are. Maybe you're noticing these spirals in conversation here through the embodiment of this pose. Breathe, 3. Breathe, 4. And 5. Go ahead and take the hands down, frame your right foot. Step the left foot a little to the left and a little forward. Enough so that you can press strongly into both feet and into both hands, maybe with blocks, long spine, and then you just drape the upper body over the lower body. In every pose, there are some body parts that are really kind of holding us up until Shavasana, right? And then there's the other parts of the body that get to surrender. So here the legs are really strong, and even the hands are helping. And then the upper body just gets to relax. It doesn't have to do the work. Breathe for 4. Breathe for 5. Make your way into downward dog. We are going to put all that together as a flow now. And it's up to you. If you want to kind of shake something out or reset something, you're totally welcome to, but I would love for you to meet us in the next breath cycle or so, finding the rhythm of your breath. Here we go. Finish the exhale. Then inhale, float the left leg up as if it's made of light. Exhale, the left knee comes forward, shoulders come forward over your wrists. Step the left foot between the hands, angled lunge, arms alongside your ears. Come all the way up as you breathe out, pivot to face the side, parallel feet, interlace fingers behind back. Inhale, lift your chest, maybe look up, hinge at hips, breathe out as you fold forward. Coming all the way up, warrior two, face the front of the mat. Don't be in any kind of rush. Reverse warrior, flip palms, tip back, inhale. Hand and left forearm down to the thigh, right arm alongside your ear. Find an inhale. And then looking down, frame your left foot. Step the back foot forward and a little to the right. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold down into the left leg. Okay, we're going to meet in downward dog. Option here, just if it's fun for you, to set up for a little handstand practice. You could take a couple of hops. You're going to have a little bit of a longer time to play with something like that if you want, or to go to the wall. This isn't that time. This is just a couple hops and then meeting me in downward dog again. Obviously, that's an option. Vinyasa is always an option. The little child's pose, always an option. All right, find downward dog now. Find the rhythm of your breath, and we'll try our flow sequence one last time. This time on the right side. Complete an exhale. Let the inhale float the right leg up. Exhale, round the knee forward, shoulders over your wrists. Then step the right foot forward. Arms alongside your ears. You come up to the diagonal angle lunge. Come all the way up, straightening that front leg, paralleling feet to the side, interlace fingers. Find an inhale to lift the chest. Find an exhale to fold forward. Inhaling, come all the way up. Warrior two, facing the front of your mat. And then floating the arms up. Reverse warrior is the in breath. flip the palms, tip back, and then bring the right forearm down to the thigh as you breathe out. Left arm alongside the ear, take an in breath. Then look down as you breathe out. Take the hands down, step the back foot forward, and a little to the left, and lengthen the spine. Then find another out breath to fold. Meet me in downward dog, and if it feels fun, you could take some handstands. Those are really good for sort of getting our energy up, getting a little more focused and a little more joyful too sometimes. So you can play with that. And then we've got a little bit more work to do and a little bit more stretching to do before we come into our rest. So you're gonna pick up the left leg again. Pick up the left leg, breathe in, three-legged dog. And then take the left knee to the upper left arm like we did at the beginning. And really kind of squeeze that knee in toward the center line, toward the right. And then step the foot down this time. And lower your right knee. Now here's the place you might want your blanket under your right knee. So here I am, my hands are inside of that left foot. My right knee's on the floor, and I could stay just like this. I could even kind of accentuate this by sort of lifting up through the chest and letting my right hip drop deeper. Or I could bring my hands down, my forearms down, and actually go in deeper this way. Those of you who like to bend the back knee and throw a belt around that back foot, or maybe grab a hold of it, that's all welcome. The most important part is whatever shape you're in, you're pouring your awareness into the space in the body where you feel the sensation. You're letting yourself fill the experience with breath. I want you to take one more big inhale as if you're just filling that space up, and a big exhale as if you're emptying that space out of everything that needs to go. Releasing the foot if you've got it. Okay, we've got a little more to do here. So now you're gonna pick up that back knee, press into that back foot, and then see if you can rewind your steps, meaning pick up the left foot, but keep hugging the left knee in toward the arm. Then find your way to three-legged dog. Take your left knee forward now, shoulders over your wrists, and now you're gonna set up fallen triangle. So step your left foot outside of that right hand. Okay, and then you're gonna lean over onto your left hand, right sole of foot come down, right arm comes up. Fallen triangle. I'll show you from this angle as well. Stay just like that, or if you wanna challenge yourself, you could try to pick up the left leg. 2 more breaths. And then go ahead and look down, find your way back, rewind. So right hand comes down, and then go ahead and find the three-legged dog. Left leg comes up. And then go ahead and bring that left knee forward to the center of the chest and just lower the knee down, pigeon pose. Okay, so you can lift up through the chest and then fold forward. We're just gonna be in pigeon for about 5 breath cycles. Slow down your breathing and feel yourself here. Let the weight of your hips just be heavy toward the earth. And let the lightness of your breath be buoyant toward the sky. Mother and Father belong to all of it. Nice big exhale. And then go ahead and come up and just make your way back to downward dog. Now lift up your right leg, breathe in. Take your right knee toward your upper right arm and really hug it in toward the center. And then step that right foot down and then lower the left knee down. So my hands are now inside of my right foot. Maybe there's a blanket under my left knee. And you know the options now. You could stay up or even lift up a little higher through the chest, or you could lower down onto forearms or bend the back knee. Feel your breath. It is so good of you to be here, showing up for your sources, honoring them, removing the obstacles so that they could flow freely in your life and support you. Pour the breath down into that space in the hip. Feel an inhale, filling it up. And then feel an exhale, emptying out anything you don't need going on in that space. You're going to start to make your way back up. See if you can play with rewinding the steps so that you're really kind of setting up a little mini arm balance here, picking up the right knee, hugging it in toward the arm, and then back to three-legged dog, breathing in. Take the knee forward toward the left upper arm, and then step that foot outside of the hand toward the left side of your mat, or maybe even off the mat. And rock onto your right hand and your left foot. The left arm can come up toward the sky. Breathing. 1. Option to lift up the right foot. 2. Feel yourself connected to the earth and feel yourself connected to the sky. Breathe deep. 4. And 5. Left hand comes down, right leg comes back up. Three-legged dog, and then take the right knee forward now, hug it up towards your chest, and then lower it down, pigeon. Let the hips drop down heavy. Maybe you lift the heart here to begin, and then you'll fold forward and feel yourself connect to the ground. Feel the breath moving through the body. Allow what's heavy inside of you to just be heavy. Allow it to belong to Mother Earth. Allow what's light and buoyant inside you to be light and buoyant, and let it belong to Father Sky. As you're ready, go ahead and walk the hands back. Make your way into downward facing dog. From downward dog, why don't you go ahead and look forward and come all the way through to sit. Paschimottanasana with the legs straight. Lift up through your heart and then fold forward. Folding over your legs. 5 breath cycles. 1. 2. Breathe for 3. 4. And 5. Coming all the way up to sit. And then I want you to take this Gomukhasana again. So left knee over the right knee. And just like we started, you do a little side stretch on both sides. We won't take a super long time with this. We're running out of time in this session. So little side stretches, and just notice, right, the space might feel very different now. Then go ahead and come up and then come forward and just take a Gomukhasana forward fold. Now, if this doesn't feel right to you, just take any forward fold. I might recommend Janu Shirshasana, right, so that it's also one-sided. I can also suggest that sometimes blocks, like a block on either side of my shin, feels really, really supportive, and then I can kind of hang out over that. Stay here for a couple more breath cycles. Then go ahead and come up, and we're just gonna do a short twist here. So go ahead and now put the left foot on the ground, right? And you could either hug that shin in as you twist to the left, or you could take the right arm outside of it, kind of use that as leverage. In either case, just a couple of breaths and a twist. With each inhale, you get a little taller and longer through the spine. With each out breath, you twist a little deeper. Come center and switch sides. First, Gomukhasana, so right knee stacks over the left knee. You might need to adjust your sits bones on the floor. And just take a couple moments where you feel the side stretch. Big breaths and just noticing the spaces in the body. And then Gomukhasana, half Gomukhasana. So you're gonna go ahead and fold over the left leg with the right knee stacked on top of the left. Breathe deeply here. Use props or modifications as you need. And feel your breath. Now, especially toward the end of class, really savor these moments that you set aside for your practice. Great, coming all the way up to sit. And then now it's your choice. I want you to choose some kind of inversion practice. So you could, this is where you could go to the wall and do your handstand practice. This is where you could do headstand or shoulder stand on your mat, or just legs up in the air. If you are doing handstand today, I want you to really think about how the hands are like the feet, and treat the hands like you would the feet in a balance, right? So kind of spreading them out, putting weight on them. You could feel, shift the weight back and forth and kind of feel the weight distributed on your hands. And you could also think about the energy of the feet in whatever pose you're in, actually, because your feet are toward the air. Think about the energy of the feet really being connected to the sky energy, really having a lot of that in them. Think of kind of pressing down through your hands if your hands are on the ground, or down through your forearms if you're in headstand. Just another 5 breath cycles or so, working on whatever you're working on. And then you're going to choose one pose before Shavasana for your final pose. One pose. It could be something restorative. We're just going to do it for about a minute. It could be something really nice and restorative on the back. I would recommend it's definitely something kind of chill, right? It could be legs up in the air, which is one of my all-time favorite poses to close class with. You might feel hungry for wheel pose. We did actually prep that in some ways today that you might find a nice wheel pose there. So now I'm just giving you 1 full minute to do any closing postures that you want before Shavasana. And once you wrap that up, you're going to come into full Shavasana. And I'm going to talk to you for a little bit, and then I'm going to do about 5 minutes of chanting. And you're welcome to come up during the chanting, or I'll kind of talk you up after. And that's how we're going to end this. I'll put the lyrics for the chanting actually up as well in case you want to join that way. For now, I want you to go ahead and get really comfortable on your back. And allow yourself to connect to your sources. Allow yourself to be like a child held by the cosmic mama and papa. And just like a baby, total trust, total surrender. And just like the ideal divine parents that they are, earth and sky are so grateful for the chance to hold you. They say, oh, I'm so glad you're finally allowing us, your sources, to take care of you. Feel how the more you surrender, the more you're able to be taken care of. I'm going to chant now for the next 5 minutes or so. And you're welcome to come up and sit and join me if you'd like, or to stay where you are.